capacity for appropriate information, because I feel if I ask a question in relation to a topic that's dealing with the school district and the school board, who is determining whether I can ask that question or not? It seems like an avoidance to answer the question, or to answer the question.
I don't think there's an avoidance. We went over that night with the Chun law firm. And so he explained that. I would think that, right, but I would think that Tim from Chun could clarify that with you in some concerning.
I don't think
we should do that.
Influence lawyer to answer my question. I want somebody who is uninfluenced, who is a neutral, a body of knowledge, of influence, to answer my question. I think I can seek that out on my own.
I think right? You can, but this.
Because any law is law.
Well, Chun represented the board, so that's who we had represent us. The board norms last week, board members at the table, we were at that meeting, and we went over the, not the board norms, but the communication protocol.
Well, I can't.
I seem to recall, and I don't know what that was about, that we discussed, but, excuse me.
One of the board would, go ahead, trustee Romney.
We had a discussion about a little bit of a discussion of the definition of, but I can't remember what we said, or what was considered board governance and what was really, what we could or could not ask. And it's up to Mr. Taylor if you wanted her to add to it. But I seem to recall maybe in our notes somewhere we have some more clarification on that.
Right. I think these are the protocol communications that we went over last week as board members.
Okay. So from what I understand, if I ask a question that somebody from somewhere deems to be outside of governance capacity or inappropriate information, I will be censored?
I don't think so.
Because that's what I was told, that it was a directive towards me, that I would be censored if I ask questions, because I'm a question-oriented person. I send out emails, I ask a question, if I don't understand, I need clarity, especially in order to vote. So now this seems like a protective guard to avoid me from asking questions when I have questions. So now I gotta send my email to the president. The president gotta ask the superintendent, and she answered her own leisure. And from the past, if a board member asks a question, even if it was to the individual superintendent, she replied to all board members. That was our past practice. So I don't understand what this silence is, and I just feel like it's going to not allow me to do my due diligence based upon this protocol. And I don't understand the whole MASB training and what is it they're trying to govern, and why they're trying to act like I work for them when I work for the people. So if somebody comes to me with a question, and I ask that question, I'm expecting an answer. I'm not expecting somebody from Lansing to come down here and tell me you can't ask that question.
Secretary Kelly,
I don't work for them.
Can we just stick to the agenda? So your question
was,
well, we're not talking about Lansing and things like that. We're just trying to ask you a question.
I just love to tell you this. I'm supportive.
Any other questions or comments concerning the communication protocol from MASB? Dr. Walker, the proposed resolution.
Thank you. Based again on the work on the board last week, this is the resolution provided today by True. And so this is an opportunity again, if there are additions or updates, this is what they produced from the conversation that was had in the meeting.
Did I answer your question? Why is she responding? Point of order.
Secretary Kelly.
She's not the attorney, and I did not ask her to comment on what I said.
She's on the agenda item.
But I'm saying, move to the next. If somebody else got a question, I can ask her a question.
This is the agenda item. So this is a proposed resolution from the board. Trustee Seats.
Are we on this line?
No, we finished that item.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So now we're on the proposed resolution that we talked about last week, and it was sent back to the attorneys.
Right, so we shared with the attorney the talking points that we have, remember? And we wanted to identify those talking points in the whereas section as was provided, and this is what the attorney came up with. So if there are additional concerns or needs to be communicated, I can work with the attorney to continue to get this resolution to appear as the board likes, so you can vote for next week, if you so choose.
Trustee Seats?
On the resolution, do you want us to send our suggestions? Okay. Because I've read it and, I see some, additions that were, and this is just me. Because I was looking for more of the hardship in the resolution and with that hardship, and also more of, what has been going right instead of basically what, and then, the current data. Because, the old data was the one that, SRO has been, dealing with. So that's, I just look for a little more. I will submit my, my expectations for a resolution because I am not ready to, support, the language that I've read in this resolution. And I just see where the city of Benton Harbor, passed the resolution upon last night, and I was on WSJM today, and it was very cut to the point. It was very well worded concerning not just economic, social impact of how this would, devastate this area, and also the social impact we have on the children. And so I'm just looking for a little more, but as written, I'm just looking for a little more, but I'm just able to agree.
Trustee Gavin?
I noticed that the bill that we discussed is not in here, or am I missing that? I don't recall us voting that out, and it's not in the language anymore.
The information that I received, I thought the board did say to remove it because they were unclear, but if, again, you all tell me, and I'm just communicating it to the attorney, so.
I don't recall us voting on
No, we couldn't vote at MASP session. I think the question was posed by Trustee Martin as to take out that wording. And so in the conversation, I think myself, Trustee Mitchell, we were saying, well, if we take it out, would that be okay, right? And so that was part of the conversation. But I think the whole board would have to agree whether to put it in or take it out.
I agree. I noticed that it's no longer here, and I think that it was already in there, and to take it out, it should have been a vote for that.
Well, we can have a consensus right now, whether we,
Hold the board to that particular item prior to
next week.
And if I could, add that if you all remember, there was discussion too around the caution of putting that into the resolution, because that was at the beginning stages and that it may evolve, and that you all would want to think about if you want to have in the final, the resolution supporting something that may evolve. So that was a part of the conversation last week, which is where, again, I thought I heard the board say we're not ready to take that risk, as it was explained to us and to you all that it was early. So again, what I think I'm hearing is that I'm going to, did you say poll the board? So I don't think I heard what you said. And then you all will let me know how you want to proceed, right? Just to make sure.
What was that said?
I did not catch what Vice President Mitchell said. Sorry.
I just suggested that President Taylor poll board members for their input on that particular item, and then get back with the superintendent prior to next week's meeting for the final draft of what we'll be voting on.
questions? High school principal position?
Thank you. So I shared with you all in a prior weekly memo that I was intending to come before you to propose that we remove the interim from the current high school principal's title. And so that I would request next week that you vote to approve that.
Any questions concerning the principal position?
Yes, so if
Secretary
the
Dolan?
position is not approved, what's the next step? Oh, hold on, let me address my question also. Mr. Chair, this question is for Dr. Walker, may I ask?
It's not for me.
Okay, well, I gotta figure out how to do this. So, my question is for Dr. Walker. What if the principal position is not approved by the Board of Education? I have to speak slowly. What is the next step?
So the principal position is approved. If I'm following the question, the title interim is what is being asked to remove. So the principal position is an approved position. So I may not be following the question.
No, that's never
Thank you.
I'm not being bothered with.
Dr. Walker, I'm just guessing Secretary Belly means, so if the board disapproves the position for next week as permanent, the next step, does he remain interim or do you seek someone else out?
We can decide that conversation there. So he would remain interim if the board does not approve to remove the interim title. Then he stays in that position. And yes, we would have to have a discussion, do we allow the interim positions to stay in play for the remainder of the year? Or do we want to post and try to find someone? But as I communicated, timing wise, I don't recommend that. Hence, remove the interim piece. And as I shared more detail in the memo that I was speaking today, the component of using the evaluation system to determine for the next school year how the board would like to proceed. This removal of interim does not make the position permanent forevermore. This is just to finish the 2017 school year.
Trustee Nomine?
Okay, so will that be clearly stated in the staff report? That this is just for the remainder of the school year?
I could, yeah, absolutely.
And
I don't
then,
know if it's clearly stated. Thank you for that.
and I tried to access the policy 3120, and it won't, because I wanted to read it, see what the policy said, but we had to post it or anything, and I can't access it.
If you go to the district website,
I did.
Mr. Johnson was having problems over there, but I was able to do it with no problem. So let us really look into that, because I don't know why it's not linking with persona and others, because I could go right to the board policies and he could not today. So I thought it was maybe his computer. We'll check into that.
I'll read it later.
Any other questions? This time we'll have subcommittee reports. Finance Committee, Treasurer McGowan is not here. I don't know if Mr. Mitchell or Trustee Mullin, you want to speak to that?
Just a quick note that Mr. Johnson did a fine job of explaining the financial aspect of the district and everything that he went over this evening. We also had plenty of documentation and consensus on bringing all of these items forward. It's the way a committee should be ran, and I think Mr. Johnson for that. And it was only 45 minutes, and we were trying to come. So I appreciate the time that you look out for the board members.
Okay, thank you. comments for tonight, Dr. Walker?
Thank you. I just had a few. I wanted to clarify, for the curriculum, that the Engage New York is the math and ELA curriculum. We are currently using the Atlas Rubicon for science and social studies, but are, as you've been informed, right now in the middle of working toward adopting a new science and social studies curriculum for 2017, 2018, and the Department of Education in November just updated the science standards. And so staff are currently working with Mrs. Robinson to get the Benton Harbor a board-approved science and social studies curriculum. But for math and ELA, the curriculum is the adopted curriculum, which was adopted in December of 2015, is the Engage New York. And so again, our website is under revision, and so we will do our best to make sure there's a link to the Engage New York material. Oh, it's linked, I'm sorry, it is linked, so we might need to make it bigger, more visible, but we'll try to make sure you all have that as well.
On our website.
Correct.
On the curriculum page. And Gina just actually linked it, so it was not up there. So on the curriculum page, you'll see on the side, links and stuff there. And so it goes right to the Engage New York site, for the math and ELA.
I'm not sure what to say this out loud. I don't know what our link is like, but I was told that in a short period of time when our players used the Engage New York, the kids found out how to go in and find all the answers to the quizzes. Do we have a lock on that?
Right, so we have revised a little bit, just changed a little bit, a few of those questions. So, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I also wanted to acknowledge Mr. and Mrs. Lester. They brought to the district office the pens that are up around the table. I hope you took one, just their small token of wanting to show their support. And they signed up, and just want to thank all of those in the community publicly for coming forward and working through Ms. Nichols to sign up to participate in volunteering in our schools, as everyone has been amazing in coming together. We've had just an insurmountable number of people that are signing up, and we have a structured sign-up sheet for the schools and where they are and what they'll be doing. We're still crafting kind of the processes around what we want them to do, but we are working on that, so it's very exciting. So I just wanted to acknowledge Mr. and Mrs. Lester for providing those. And then just wanted to thank, Scott and Mr. Leonard. I know Ms. Robinson and Dr. Markovich. Writing RFPs is a very tedious and arduous process. And I watched Mr. Johnson in particular engage that RFP for band before the winter break. And, we were under time restraints. Mr. Evans needed these yesterday, et cetera. We had this donor who wanted to give, and there was a lot of pressure, a lot of need. And, they're just not easy to produce, and they take a lot of time. So I just wanted to acknowledge and say thank you to them for creating these as we learn our way as a relatively new leadership team. And so thank you for what you all are doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. We'll have comments from board members at this time, starting with Trustee Seats.
Thank you. The only comment I have is I would like to be asked to be removed from the chairships of the different committees. I will be able to serve on the committees, but I would not be able to serve in the capacity as a chair. That's the only comment I have. Thank you.
Trustee Gavin.
I definitely want to thank the public for coming out tonight. It's always good to see concerned members of the community coming out to see your school. I think it's so important for us to remember that, and we do need your voice, we do need your help. And so that's very important. It's good to know that the curriculum is now available online, so we'll definitely, the curriculum and instruction committee will be reviewing that. I'm hoping that the question regarding the pool is answered and that the rest of the board will receive the answer to that question. I want to thank the Band Community Foundation for picking up that band uniform tab. We really appreciate you. Those band uniforms are phenomenal. So I can't wait to see our band members high stepping. I do want to apologize on behalf of the other subcommittees. Those meetings were canceled, which is the only reason that we do not have a report for you. But moving forward, we definitely will have reports to the public regarding those committees. And also, I'm hoping that moving forward, we will have something in place for those people who were laid off. People in this community who work in this community, who live here and lost their jobs. I'm really hoping that we will have something in place that when an opportunity arises, they receive, a call first if they are qualified for those positions. So that's very important. Very important moving forward. But thank you for the meeting. Thank you for your time.
I also want to say support on the payment of the uniforms. That's wonderful that there's community support. The kids deserve to have those. They will march tall and proud. Our ministerial alliance met this weekend and seemed to be very, very enthused, and I'm really looking forward to helping with our students and helping to mentor our students. And my understanding is a lot of them have already applied to have the background checks done. So, and then I know some of them are counselors, and I know there's a special ed teacher that's going to be coming. And so everyone's circling the wagons and are there to help our kids. This is what's really important, so that we can avoid a situation where our kids are going to end up losing. Many thanks to the leadership staff and the professionalism. I really appreciate all of you. Sorry, Gina and John, you're not getting it tonight. The leadership staff is getting my thank you tonight. And that's it.
Thank you. Secretary Jones.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I'm glad that you all are paying attention to what's going on with our schools. And keep paying attention to what's going on with our schools, because I don't understand why we're still talking about the swimming pool years later, when the Ben Harbor City gave up $250,000 that could have been allocated for jobs in the community, summer jobs for our youth. However, decided that our kids would learn how to swim. They could become engineers based upon swimming. This was to open doors for many different things, but there are different, I don't understand, different roadblocks, different barriers, different excuses, different everything that is preventing this from happening. So I don't understand why it's still a conversation. And, it's just baffling, the things that will be supported, and not everything is supported for the children. Like the email that we got about the expulsion hearings, that we wouldn't have them after 5 o'clock because we would have to pay additional staff. And the state didn't approve it. Well, I guess the consultant didn't approve it, because there's the consultant, then there's the state. So I won't put the state in the consultant decisions, because the consultant decisions don't override the state. But if somebody going to have an expulsion hearing after 5, we would tell them no, because we can't afford to pay the teachers or the additional staff that might have to stay afterwards, but we'll pay for all this other stuff. It's just confusing and baffling to me as to what the consultant will put money into, as opposed to what he won't put money into. So there are so many different barriers, and it's just so much going on that I just don't know about this. It's just mind-boggling to me. And to say that you for the kids, but you don't put additional staff into the classrooms for the teachers, it's just mind-boggling. But, it's not my decision. I'm only one board member, only one voice. But those decisions that are being made, they're not about the kids.
Vice President.
Just a couple of statements. We talked about in the Finance Committee, Mr. Townsend, the band uniforms themselves, one of my questions was, and you were to get back to me about the security of the uniforms once you got them, to make sure that both instruments and uniforms have adequate place to be stored, because I know currently what we have is really not adequate, and we don't want to expend those funds and not take care of what we have. So that was one of the questions I wanted for you to answer for me. The other one, the dollars out of the community foundation, are those dollars that were already in the account from prior years? Because I know we did have funds in the foundation from prior years. Does this 40,000 come out of that gross amount?
To answer the question about the band uniforms first, the question was, are there plans to improve the storage and security for the new band uniforms? The answer is yes. Mr. Evans plans to move band uniforms into the same room where the band instruments are stored. And then there was the question regarding the foundation. Plans are to have the band uniforms account pay $14,072, and the balance come from the foundation. And the balance from the foundation piece will be funds that are going to be provided yet this year from the community foundation, and it will also include funds that were in our designated account at the foundation that were from previous years. So it'll be a blend. Does that answer your question?
It's part of it is advanced, right, from the funds that we already have in the account, and part of anticipated funds that will be coming into that account.
That's correct. In addition to the funds that are in the student activity band
Right.
uniform account.
We
Yes.
have an anonymous donor distribution for this current year, but I think I mentioned that has contributed a significant amount toward their uniforms, but it was not the full amount. So when Mr. Johnson contacted their foundation, they confirmed that because we do have a substantial amount of funds that are there, to other part of your question, to use those additional funds that were already there to cover the remaining balance. So you have old funds, a small portion of it, and a new, brand new donation that was just made that's covering the larger portion that we have to use.
Then I'll reserve my other part of the question, Mr. Leonard. I'll talk to you Thursday about the section that he's speaking of in the band rounding or best act. And there will be an operations meeting Thursday at 6 o'clock. This girl is That's all.
Thank you. Any other board business? Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you
I
want to
forgot about the
make a
young man.
comment? No?
No comment. So any other board business? If not, this meeting is adjourned at 7:21 p.m.